Shu Wenyan is cooking in the kitchen, thinking about the strange things He Chang's friends said in the afternoon. What do they mean? He Yang's birthday is coming. Shu Wenyan went to get something in the afternoon and coincidentally ran into Qi Yi. Oh, you're here to buy a birthday gift for He Yang, right? You better be careful, don't buy a fake one. Just like some people don't even know they are fake and still think they are genuine. But when the genuine one comes back, who would want the fake one? Remember to check what you bought when you get back. They also mentioned there would be a big surprise. Hearing Qi Yi's sarcastic tone, the naive Yan Yan still wondered how this store could sell fake goods. At this moment, He Chang asked if the wontons were ready. Almost. Yan Yan thought about what Qi Yi said in the afternoon, feeling like it was a deliberate reminder. But then he thought, He Yang's friends have always disliked him, so he didn't think too much about it. Seeing that Yan Yan hadn't come out for a long time, He Chang walked into the kitchen and asked what he was thinking about. Shu Wenyan said he was thinking about the birthday and mentioned he wanted to write the birthday card himself. He Chang said there's no need to trouble yourself, someone else can do it. But Shu Wenyan insisted it's He Chang's birthday, and he takes it very seriously. He Yang looked at Shu Wenyan and was momentarily stunned. Then he lowered his head and continued eating, saying, if you want to write, you should prepare it yourself. Shu Wenyan happily said okay and urged He Chang to eat quickly. At this moment, He Chang picked up a spoon and asked Yin Yin to blow on it. Ha ha, just a boyfriend's trick. Watching the person beside him slightly open their little mouth, repeatedly blowing on it, how could He Yang control himself? He directly said he wouldn't eat any more. Shu Wenyan thought He Yang was tired of eating wontons and said he could make whatever he wanted to eat. He Chang directly pushed him down on the dining table and said, I want to eat you. Shu Wenyan knew what He Chang was going to do next and said not to do it here, so He Chang carried Yan Yan towards the bedroom. Upon reaching the bedroom, He Yang took off his tie. Shu Wenyan knew that every time they were intimate, his eyes had to be covered, but he didn't like it. However, since He Yang liked it, he just went along with it. I won't go into the details, but it was pretty intense. The next day, waking up, Shu Wenyan looked at the still sleeping He Chang, and found him quite cute. Soon after, He Yang also woke up and, seeing nobody beside him, stepped out of the bedroom, only to see Shu Wenyan already starting to make breakfast. After preparing the meal, Shu Wenyan told he to eat while he went to get his clothes ready. He Chang wanted Shu Wenyan to join him for breakfast. Alright, Shu Wenyan thought, ever since he knew He Chang, he was always unsmiling, like an iceberg. After eating, Shu Wenyan was helping He Chang with his tie, asking if he would come back for dinner in the evening. He should be, Shu Wenyan said happily, okay. At 2 p.m., Shu Wenyan arrived at the training center where he had been working since graduating from university. His colleagues joked with him, saying, last night must have been intense, huh? The marks on your neck are pretty obvious. Embarrassed, Shu Wenyan explained he was in a rush and didn't notice. His colleagues said it was no problem and offered to help cover them up with concealer. After finishing his classes, Shu Wenyan went home first to prepare dinner. He sent a message to He Chang but didn't get a reply. He wondered if He Chang was too busy to see it as time passed by. Feeling exhausted, Shu Wenyan decided to rest first. He Yi didn't return home until midnight. He Chang caressed the sleeping person. Ah Yi, you're back. There's food left in the fridge, I'll go heat it up for you, Shu Wenyan said as he started to get up, but He Chang mentioned he had already eaten at the company. Then, He Chang took out a gift, saying it was to make up for coming home late. It was snow season forest, a scent Shu Wenyan also liked very much. He Chang picked up Shu Wenyan and said he was very tired today. Shu Wenyan immediately said he would go run the bath water. He Yang directly suggested they bathe together. Today, He Chang is taking Shu Chengyan to the old house. In the past, every time they went out, He Yang would pair Shu Chengyan's clothes and have him put them on directly. Today is no exception. Seeing Shu Chengyan wearing a green outfit, he directly made him change into another set. Sometimes Shu Chengyan feels like He Chang's puppet, letting him decide what to wear. However, He Chang likes Shu Chengyan a lot, and he happily accepts it every time. He Yang, I'm ready, let's go. When they arrived at the He family's old house, Chi Chi saw Shu Chengyan, and immediately jumped on him excitedly. Chi Chi is an Alaskan Malamute that He Chang impulsively bought. Seeing how much Chi Chi clings to Shu Chengyan, He Chang lets him play with the dog. He himself goes to the recovery room to check on his father. After playing with Chi Chi for a while, Shu Chengyan went back to look for He Chang. As soon as he got to the stairs, he heard the servants saying that the young master is on the 3rd floor and that no one should disturb him. Shu Chengyan knew in his heart that the 3rd floor was related to that person. That person was He Yang's childhood playmate who had to go abroad to live with relatives due to family issues. In the past 5 years, every time he came to the old house, He Chang would spend a long time in that room. Shu Chengyan comforted himself by thinking that everyone has a past. Moreover, they were never together. Now, the one with He Yang is himself. Thinking this way, he wouldn't feel so sad. Unconsciously, Shu Chengyan fell asleep. He Yang held the sleeping Shu Chengyan and said they'd stay at the old house tonight. Shu Chengyan wanted to ask about that person, but then thought he might be too petty and didn't say anything. He just said he prepared a gift for He Yang and would give it to him on his birthday. By then, He Yang would definitely like it. Qi Yi received a message from Shen Shuzu that day, saying he'd arrive tomorrow and asking him to pick up this scum at the airport. Qi Yi was secretly delighted that the big gift would arrive tomorrow. He thought the show was about to start, but poor Yan Yan was about to start suffering. When He Chang came home late at night and saw that Shu Chengyan was still awake, he said that in the future, there's no need to wait up so late, go rest first, and then he gave the late-night snack he brought to Shu Chengyan. As always, it was a dessert from the same store. Shu Chengyan thought to himself that He Chang must really like this store, but the store is in a different direction from home. He said that if there's late overtime again in the future, there's no need to go out of the way. He Yang said it was fine. Shu Chengyan actually doesn't like sweets much, but He Yang thought he did, so every time he brought them home, he would end up eating it all. Look at my face, hasn't it become rounder? And my waist thicker? Hearing Shu Chengyan say this, He Chang placed his hand on the waist of the person beside him and said, not fat. It's okay to be a bit fatter. Shu Chengyan saw He Chang wipe away the cream that was on his own mouth corner and directly took it into his mouth, excitedly shouting, "Achong, the perfume you're using smells so good." With that, He Yang pressed Shu Chengyan down beneath him. Can we not cover our eyes this time? Perhaps moved by the moment, He Yang actually agreed. After finishing up, He Yang went to take a shower, and Shu Chengyan was supposed to finalize the details for He Yang's birthday banquet and the greeting cards tonight, but he couldn't help himself, thinking that he must resist when there's serious business next time. Shu Chengyan wanted to change his clothes. Upon opening his wardrobe, he realized he had unconsciously received so many perfumes, thinking to himself that He Yang was quite good to him. He then went to the bedroom. Jiang Lin called, asking Shu Chengyan to pick him up at the airport tomorrow. Just then, He Yang came over, and upon hearing it was Jiang Lin, he said they would go together to the airport. At the airport, Jiang Lin was so happy to see Shu Chengyan that he pounced on him, saying, "Bro, I've missed you so much." Seeing his cousin Jiang Lin so enthusiastic, He Yang promptly pulled him up, reminding him to be mindful of their image in public. Shu Chengyan thought Jiang Lin must be hungry, so he suggested they head home. In fact, Jiang Lin had been looking forward to eating the meal prepared by Shu Chengyan and did not forget to urge He Yang to register their marriage with Bro soon, as he is one of a kind. 5 years of companionship, it turns out I've been a stand-in for that person. Should I feel relieved? That day, after picking up the person from the airport and bringing them home, Shu Chengyan quickly prepared the meal. Then he asked Jiang Lin to go to the study and call He Chang out for dinner. "Brother, it's time to eat." Jiang Lin approached He Yang and asked when he was planning to settle things with Yan Bro. Has it been so long just because of that person? He Yang told him to mind his own business. Jiang Lin continued to ask if that person was coming back soon. He Yang put the stuff into the drawer and said, "Let's eat first," then turned and walked out. Jiang Lin, eating the cooking he had been longing for, was almost moved to tears and said that he would bring a gift to He Yang's birthday party. When leaving, he also reminded them to get their marriage certificate soon and that he would be the best man. "Bro, I'm off. Happy birthday in advance." He Yang didn't turn his head, just said, "Thanks." Jiang Lin almost suspected his brother had a poker face. On the day of the birthday, Shu Chengyan was worrying about what to wear. He Yang came over and directly handed him an outfit. After Shu Chengyan was dressed, He Yang felt something was missing and directly handed Shu Chengyan a pair of glasses to wear. "Is it okay?" He Yang said while touching the hair of the person in front of him. "Happy birthday, Mr. He." Shu Chengyan happily handed the gift to He Chang. At this moment, He Yang noticed that Shu Chengyan was wearing the watch he gave him. Shu Chengyan pulled He Chang and said, "Let's hurry to the cruise. The protagonist of today shouldn't be late." When they arrived at the birthday venue, Shu Chengyan saw Jiang Lin gobbling down food from a distance. Look at Jiang Lin, still like a child. He's spoiled. Such occasions inevitably have people of status coming to congratulate. He Yang was used to it, but Shu Chengyan was not. Qi Yi walked over. He said he had prepared a big surprise for Mr. He to see. Just then, the phone rang. Walking while shouting, "The surprise is here. Hello everyone, long time no see." The speaker is indeed Shen Shuzu, He Yang's childhood friend. Shu Chengyan felt surrounded by countless voices, all shouting about knockoffs and Shan Cha Bei. Even He Yang was drifting away from him. The surprise Qi Yi brought was really too much. He wondered how someone could look so similar. Who exactly was he? He Yang was looking at the person across from him, taking steps toward him, completely oblivious to Shu Chengyan, who was pulling at his own clothes behind him. Everyone around was happy for Shen Shuzu's return. Shu Chengyan wanted to catch up and ask who this person was, but his feet felt like they were filled with lead, giving him no reason to go over. It was late because of the traffic jam on the road, but luckily he made it for the birthday. Hearing Shen Shuzu saying this, He Yang smiled and said it was okay, that it was good to come. He Yang's happiness was so evident that even the people around could see it. Shu Chengyan thought this must be that old friend, that secret belonging to the third floor. Has Yan Yan seen the genuine article? A knockoff will always be a knockoff. Shu Chengyan, pushing away Qi Yi behind him, shouted angrily, "What exactly are you trying to convey?" Qi Yi said, "It's so obvious, don't you know what I want to express?" Shu Chengyan looked at Shen Shuzu standing among the crowd, like a bright pearl. I myself am like a counterfeit good silently criticized by others, nowhere to hide, trembling, taking off the glasses that He Yang wanted me to wear, holding them in my hand. Qi Yi continued to mock, saying that looking like someone else isn't necessarily a bad thing. You've also benefited quite a bit over the years. In the end, he didn't forget to remind Shu Chengyan not to forget who he is. Don't end up losing both money and people. Shu Chengyan's body trembled, and the hand holding the glasses tightened even more. He Yang saw Shu Chengyan turn his head and run out. Shen Shuzu asked He Yang what he was looking at. Nothing. Shu Chengyan stood by the railing, his hair a bit messy from the wind, just like his tangled thoughts. He comforted himself that the person was just Ah Yang's old friend. It's understandable if Ah Yang has a special relationship with him. Wearing the same outfit might just be the fashion trend this year. At this moment, Zhang Lin came over. Yan Ji, it's windy outside. Let me accompany you to the cabin to rest. Shu Chengyan knew Zhang Lin came to comfort him, saying he was just too tired and wanted to relax a bit. Zhang Lin realized how much they indeed look alike. No matter how he tried to comfort, it seemed like trying to hide only made it more conspicuous. He said he always saw him as family, irreplaceable. Shu Chengyan suddenly became somewhat lost in thought. Irreplaceable? The autumn wind is chilly, and yet my boyfriend lends his clothes to someone else. Who could tolerate that? Shu Chengyan is in a bad mood, but still reassures Zhang Lin that he's fine and there's no need to worry. Together, they walk towards the banquet. As they do, Shu Chengyan puts his glasses back into his pocket. Upon arriving, he approaches He Chang and asks who the person beside him is. LV Cha Ju looks across at the person, thinking this must be the one Qi Yi mentioned. Indeed, they look so much alike. He Yang sees Shu Chengyan remove his glasses and looks somewhat unhappy, though he doesn't speak. The people around notice the strong resemblance between the two and eagerly anticipate the drama that will unfold. Hello, my name is Shen Shuju. Shu Chengyan wonders why the person opposite is offering their left hand, but he quickly and politely takes the other's hand. However, the watch on the wrist of the person opposite makes Shu Chengyan feel uneasy. He quickly withdraws his hand and hides it behind his back, discreetly covering it with his sleeve. Are you going to cut the cake, Ah Yang? Shu Chengyan asks, but He Chang ignores him and directly asks Shen Shuju if she'd like to try. LV Cha-ju isn't shy at all and walks side by side with He Chang, leaving our dear Chengyan alone in the wind, disheveled and even more infuriatingly. He Yang stands directly behind LV Cha-ju, shielding her from the wind. Shu Chengyan quickly downs the wine in his glass. Convincing myself it's nothing, I tighten my clothes and continue walking alone. He Yang passes the knife to Green Tea Bamboo to cut the cake. Pretending to be coy, Green Tea Bamboo says, "Should I do it? Don't you like it?" Green Tea Bamboo puts on a flirty face. The onlookers tease, "This is how we celebrate Mr. He's birthday. From now on, Shen Shuzu has to be here every year." Shu Chengyan watches the two in the crowd. Seeing the smile on He Yang's face, I realize that his eyes are filled with that person, no room for another. Even though that person's social status has declined, he must be a good person to be so popular. Silly Yan Yan, that's a green tea person. Brother is not good. Fortunately the younger brother is still alright. Zhang Lin knew that Shu Chengyan felt wronged, so he brought him a hot drink to warm up. He knew that Yang was meticulous and couldn't possibly miss it. Thinking that the brother did go too far, doesn't he think his actions are problematic? At this point, saying more comforting words would just be adding fuel to the fire. Green Tea Ju had an appointment with the hospital for treatment, so he said he was going back. He Chang said he would send him. He Xiao had been drinking, how could he drive? Qi Yi said from the side. At this moment, someone in the crowd said that they could call a driver or a substitute driver. Anyway, He Xiao had to take Shen Shuzu back. He Chang walked behind Green Tea Ju, feeling the wind was a bit strong, considerately took off his own coat and put it on Green Tea Ju. He Yang, who came down from the cruise ship, suddenly became alert. Shu Chengyan following behind said he would send Green Tea Ju back. Poor Yan Yan even told them to be careful. Shu Chengyan just watched the two drive away. Zhang Lin walked over and said he would take Shu Chengyan back, thinking He Chang was really too much. Clearly, A substitute driver was hired, but he insisted on sending him personally. I wanted to stay a bit longer. The drink is finished, I'll go pour some more. Shu Chengyan just found an excuse for himself, wanting to sort out his unbearable emotions. He was already feeling bad, and then someone who enjoyed making a scene said, "It's been 5 years and they haven't broken up. Shen Shuju is back, but they will separate sooner or later. He gained a lot of benefits in those 5 years too." Hearing this, Shu Chengyan could no longer control himself. He clenched his fists tightly and ran out like mad. Zhang Lin, who was suddenly bumped into, shouted, "Yan Ji, where are you going?" Tears streamed down Shu Chengyan's face as he thought to himself, "Am I still lying to myself? The same outfit, the same watch. Every time he blindfolded himself to buy sweets, was he really just a substitute? But what did he do wrong?" The long unseen ex finally returned, and He Chang strongly insisted on seeing them off. Shu Chengyan, full of grievances, cried and ran back home. Lying in bed, Shu Chengyan thought about texting He Chang. It's 1 a.m., and He Chang still hasn't returned. He considered calling to ask where he was. What to do? The keys pressed never made a call. In fact, he knew the answer without asking. A long-awaited reunion always entails catching up. At this moment, He Yang returned and saw Shu Chengyan hadn't slept. He sat down by the bed. Shu Chengyan knew the answer but still asked why He Chang came back so late. He Yang said there was something. He smelled of winter snow and forest, a scent he didn't have when he left. Suddenly, He Chang gripped the face in front of him, and forcefully kissed those soft lips. Shu Chengyan didn't want to think too much, even if it meant giving up on himself. At least this moment was real. This time was no exception. He Yang groped for the tie. Shu Chengyan knew he was going to blindfold him again and asked, "Are my eyes not beautiful to you?" He Yang paused for a moment, but still blindfolded the eyes of the person beneath him as usual. All of this, when He Yang saw Shen Shuzu, Shu Chengyan understood. He knew his eyes were not like his. Due to the cold wind yesterday, Shu Chengyan was feeling dizzy when he went to work. A colleague told him that someone was proposing downstairs. He couldn't help but sigh, thinking how great it is to be young. Near the end of the workday, He Yang sent him a location and asked Shu Chengyan to pick him up. When he arrived at the KTV, Chi Yi was there too, as expected. Chi Yi teased that they should bring Shen Shuzu next time. He Yang thought these chaotic places were not suitable for Shen Shuzu. Shu Chengyan, standing nearby, knew that He Yang was just being considerate, so he said the car couldn't stay at the corner for too long. Then he went to the car. Seeing Shu Chengyan's reaction, Chi Yi actually found it amusing to mess with others. After Shu Chengyan brought He Chang back from the KTV, He Yang said he wanted to eat wontons. "There aren't any," Shu Chengyan replied. Still not recovered from the cold the day before and feeling aggrieved, Shu Chengyan felt unwell and said he was going to sleep first. He Chang could clearly sense that the person in front of him was acting differently, but since he wasn't the type to care, he didn't pay attention. Once in bed, Shu Chengyan finally shed his tough exterior and curled up under the covers. Tears filled his eyes as he remembered how he used to confess his admiration without holding back. The next day, when he woke up, He Yang had already left. Shu Chengyan made a call, and He Yang said he had something to do that evening and wouldn't be coming back. Just after hanging up, Zhang Lin called and proposed to go out for crayfish that night. At the restaurant, Zhang Lin ate while sharing his experiences abroad. Suddenly, Shu Chengyan noticed a cluster of red spots on Zhang Lin's arm and thought it might be an allergy to the crayfish. He said to quickly go to the hospital. Zhang Lin's symptoms were getting worse on the way. By the time they arrived at the hospital, his face was swollen like a pig's head. The doctor hurriedly gave him an IV drip. Shu Chengyan went to get the medicine and turned around, only to see He Chang. He thought, didn't He Chang say he had something to do? Could he be sick? Before he could call out to he saw Shen Shuzu sitting opposite He Yang. So He Chang's something to do tonight was actually accompanying Green Tea Ju to the hospital. What made him even angrier was that they were both wearing the same style of clothes and scarves today. Isn't that? He Chang followed Green Tea Zu's gaze. Shu Chengyan felt awkward and called out, "A Chang." This scumbag actually looked unhappy, as if he didn't want to see Shu Chengyan. He asked, Yan, why are you here?" Shu Chengyan clearly felt that He Chang was unhappy about meeting him here, so he said Zhang Lin was allergic to eating crayfish and that he accompanied him here. Green Tea Ju said from the side that Zhang Lin wasn't allergic to these before and suggested they go check. Thus, Shu Chengyan walked ahead, leading the two to the ward. "Yan Ji, you're back. I just ate 2 plates of chicken," Zhang Lin said as he saw He Chang behind. He was happy thinking He Yang came specially to see him, unknowingly followed by Shen Shuzu. He Chang asked what was going on, remembering Zhang Lin wasn't allergic before. Zhang Lin said even he didn't know, but thankfully Yan Ji was there, otherwise he might not have made it. Zhang Lin thought he would listen. Shu Chengyan said He Chang had something to do in the evening. Was it accompanying Shen Shuzu? So he asked, Brother Shuzu, is your health still not good? Green Tea Ju said it was an old problem and then put on a green tea performance, constantly coughing. He Yang, beside him, supportively held Green Tea Ju, gently patting his back and softly saying to drink some water first. Completely ignoring Shu Chengyan standing next to him, Jiang Lin also felt Shu Chengyan's reaction. He felt uneasy in his heart. From their conversation, Shu Chengyan knew that Shen Shuzu was sick. Even so, he was still the young master who made everyone feel compassionate. I'll take Shen Shuzu to get checked out first. Call me if there's any problem. Seeing no response from Shu Chengyan, Jiang Lin hurriedly agreed. He Bo, that scumbag, finished speaking and left with Shen Shuzu, completely disregarding the feelings of the people behind. Jiang Lin comforted, saying that He Bo and Shen Shuzu were just friends. Actually, Jiang Lin felt a bit guilty saying this. Shu Chengyan didn't respond, just turned and applied medicine to Jiang Lin. Seeing this, Jiang Lin asked him to go home and rest, but Shu Chengyan didn't want to go home so early, so he said he might as well stay a little longer since there was nothing else to do. Shu Chengyan returned from the hospital in the middle of the night. He opened the door to find the house somewhat dark and asked He Yang why he didn't turn on the lights. Come here. He Yang beckoned Shu Chengyan over from the sofa. How is Jiang Lin now? Sitting a bit far from He Yang, Shu Chengyan said he was much better when he left. Suddenly, He Yang jerked Shu Chengyan towards him. Totally unprepared, Yan Yan fell into He Yang's arms. Why are you sitting so far away from me? And you have the nerve to ask, Shu Chengyan, smelling the scent of winter and forest on the man before him, retorted. But Shu Chengyan didn't have much time to think before he was overwhelmed, blindfolded throughout the ordeal. Shu Chengyan only wanted to touch the person in front of him, but even this was not satisfied. After a series of actions like this, when he woke up the next day, it was as if nothing had happened. He Yang has already left. Shu Chengyan took a leave to stay at home. He only feels happy when he comes to the piano room, because it was specially renovated by He Yang for him. However, everything changed with the arrival of that person. Thinking of being a cheap substitute or a stand-in, Shu Chengyan's face was covered in tears, and he played the piano even faster, as if that was the only way to release the grievances in his heart. At noon, Shu Chengyan made wontons and delivered them to the company, letting He Yang's assistant bring them in. Unexpectedly, Lu Cha-ju was also there, making snide remarks to He Yang, asking if Mr. Shu was the one by his side. I remember you never eat this kind of thing. He Yang said he got used to it. Since the lunch is here, will you still go out to eat with me? Lu Cha-ju asked flirtatiously. He Yang decided to eat out and told his assistant to throw away the wontons. Lu Cha-ju revealed a triumphant smile behind him. He Chang, this jerk, not only did not appreciate it but also had someone throw away the wontons specially sent by Shu Chengyan. The assistant came out just in time to see Shu Chengyan hadn't left yet, so he handed the lunchbox to him. Shu Chengyan thought it was finished so quickly. Turns out the lunchbox was intact. The assistant said He Chang had made plans with friends, so he won't eat it. Just then, they saw He Yang and Green Tea Bamboo coming out, thinking that this must be the friend he had made plans with. Green Tea Bamboo, who has been specializing in green tea for 30 years, came up to Yan Yan and was sarcastic again, saying, So you made these wontons. Had I known, I would have declined He Yang's invitation. But it's not thrown away, you can still eat it if you heat it up at home. I really want to smash his head. He Chang asked Shu Chengyan why he came and didn't go to the piano store. Yan Yan didn't even look at him and said he took the morning off and was just leaving. He Chang, look, we're even wearing the same clothes. Green Tea Bamboo came close to Shu Chengyan and continued, I heard from others before, He Chang has been in a 5-year friendship and hasn't had a proper talk with you since returning to the country. Why not go together? Shu Chengyan wouldn't go with you, Green Tea. I'm not going, he said, as He Chang instructed the driver to take Shu Chengyan home. No need, Shu Chengyan said, before turning to leave, with Green Tea Ju looking smug behind him. He even told He Chang to remember to send an invitation when he gets married. He Chang, the scumbag, said he has no plans to marry yet and asked if he would leave again this time. Green Tea Ju said she's not leaving and wanted to buy a house, asking He Yang for recommendations. To her surprise, He Yang simply gifted her the apartment at Jiangnan Coast. All this was overheard by Shu Chengyan, who hadn't gone far. Drained of strength, he slid to the ground, tears of grievance welling up uncontrollably, thinking to himself, what's there to look forward to? Don't expect anything anymore. This time it was He Yang's turn to ask why the lights were off. Waiting for you, Shu Chengyan said indifferently, sitting at the dining table. He Yang completely ignored Shu Chengyan's feelings and directly asked him where the keys to the villa on the Jiangnan coast were. Knowing that he intended to give the house to LV Chazu, Shu Chengyan commented on how good He Yang was to LV Chazu, so good that he wanted to give the house to him. Xu Chengyan knew He Yang had many friends, but his treatment of Shen Shuzu was different. He Yang told Xu Chengyan not to overthink things. Behave. Xu Chengyan thought to himself that he didn't want to think like this either, but the things you do make it impossible not to overthink. However, Xu Chengyan remained silent. First thing the next morning, He Yang took LV Chazu to the Jiangnan coast. Although no one lived there, it was very clean because Xu Chengyan often took care of it. LV Chazu initially really liked the garden there, but as soon as she heard that Xu Chengyan had been the one to take care of it, she immediately started coughing. He Yang, who was by her side, hurriedly gave her a pill and helped her to the side to rest for a while. Green tea bamboo also said he might be allergic to pollen. He Yan said he would have someone clear all the potted plants from the bedrooms. Green tea bamboo happily agreed. The south coast of the river is right opposite Xu Chengyan's house. Xu Chengyan can see the dim lights opposite from the balcony. Just then, He Yan sent a message asking Xu Chengyan to come over tomorrow to clean up those potted plants and mentioned a small gathering over the weekend. On the day of the gathering, Green tea bamboo and He Yan were together. Seeing Xu Chengyan alone in the distance, they thought of playing a trick. Approaching Yan Yan, they asked for any food recommendations. Xu Chengyan handed him a plate of fruits, knowing full well he still proactively asked for lobster balls despite being allergic to seafood. Mr. Xu, shall we eat and chat? Green tea bamboo continued, seeing Xu Chengyan is like seeing myself. Xu Chengyan is so embarrassed, he could die of cringe. LV Cha Ju ate a lobster ball and suddenly felt unwell, struggling to breathe. Mr. Shen, what's wrong with you? Xu Chengyan hurried to LV Cha Zu's side and asked anxiously. Qi Yi saw Shen Shuzu collapsed on the ground and quickly ran over, pushing Xu Chengyan aside. Xu Chengyan was caught off guard and fell, injuring his hand. He Chang also ran over, completely ignoring the injured Xu Chengyan, his eyes full of worry for the green tea bamboo. Xu Chengyan, did you give this to him? Do you know he's allergic to seafood? At this moment, the green tea bamboo kept saying he had difficulty breathing. But Shen Shuzu never said he was allergic to seafood, and it was him who wanted to eat the lobster ball. Qi Yi shouted that Xu Chengyan was seeking attention and using underhanded tactics against Shen Shuzu. Stop arguing, He Chang said, picking up the green tea bamboo, we need to take him to the hospital. Yang, do you also think it was me? Xu Chengyan asked He Chang. He Chang's silence was the best answer, making Xu Chengyan's heart sink to the lowest point. At this moment, the pain in his hand couldn't compare to the pain in his heart. Jiang Lin saw Xu Chengyan's hand was injured and anxiously said, let's go to the hospital to bandage it up. These hands are meant to play the piano. Jiang Lin believed Xu Chengyan wouldn't do such a thing, which made him 100 times better than He Chang. Xu Chengyan said he wanted to check on Shen Shuzu, knowing what Jiang Lin was going to say, and told him not to worry. Xu Chengyan watched in the hospital room as He Yang accompanied Shen Shuzu. At this moment, anyone who saw them would think they were a perfect match. The green tea Shen was playing the victim. He told He Yang not to blame Xu Chengyan, saying that he didn't intentionally make him eat seafood. This green tea infuriates me. Xu Chengyan didn't want to listen anymore and sat on the bench. Jiang Lin felt Xu Chengyan's mood getting worse, so he sent He Yang a message asking when he would be done, saying that he and Yan Ji were outside.